Surprise! Welcome back to another live from the Norwegian woods. Once again, I'm your host, Ulf Hawkins Gray of WhiteWolfAlchemy.com. Let's see here. We are live and running. Hello. Let's see. I'm gonna see if I can, just for the sake of it, put that microphone a little bit closer, because we will be doing a little bit of a meditation today, just right at the end there. Yeah, I like to just go. Most people get these when they're usually a few hours off the press, so to speak. So as per usual and as always, I like to tune in to my higher self stream of consciousness, and for you to tune into yours, so that we may conduct this communion from our higher self consciousness. And it always makes these videos so much better, both if you're watching and for my transmitting purposes. Tuning a little bit with the breath, checking with the body. You know, how are you doing? Yeah. So how are you doing? Check in with the toes, wiggle the toes a little. You know, how are the shins and the calves? How are the knees? How are the thighs? The buttocks? How's the abdomen? The organs? How's the spine? You know, just checking in there. You know, I immediately corrected my posture. I don't know how that was for you. You know, checking with the shoulders, make sure that they're not hanging out with the ears. Elbows, wrists, and hands. Checking with the heart. And it's hot in here. Checking with the throat. With the neck. With the face. Oh, man. It's winter coming, so, you know, it's a little bit of that wanting to take a nap in the midday, especially when it rains like now. And I urge you to listen to your body, listen to your needs these days. Like, do you need to take a nap? Take a nap. The other day, the whole family took a nap, sleeping on the couch. And I love that. slowing down a little bit in this high-paced society. And that's why I urge you to also check in with your body, check in with how you're feeling, how you're doing. How does it feel to be in the body? And it should feel good. You should create an environment in which to feel good in your body. And if you have pains and aches and all these things, then I strongly recommend you do some kind of mobility exercises like Qigong or um, yoga. Not too much of the stretching variety, um, because stretching is not too good for us, actually. Um, we are more meant to do twisting stretches and take care of the fascia and um, because that is where a lot of our trauma is stored, and have good fascia, have good joint mobility, to have the capacity to uh, move without pain and restriction, and to be able to be mobile into old age. It is wise to look into uh, the Eastern arts, not necessarily just the Chinese medicine, but Aikido has done wonders for me. Qigong, Tai Chi, of course. Any of these movement based martial arts, the more the more we move the joints, the longer we keep our mobility into old age. Now, take a deep breath in through the nose. One for mine. Hold it at the top. And slowly. One for body. In through the nose. Hold it at the top. And nice and easy. And one for spirit. And pack it in a little. Let it off with a little bit of sound. Oh. Oh. Good. Good, good. Feels so much better. You know, I talk a lot about the alignment from within and what that means. It means that if we're dysregulated a lot, if we're not in alignment within, then the alchemy, it states as within, so without. Then we're going to experience discombobulated, external as well. The without will be out of balance. And so as all things kind of come from within, we create our reality from within. We perceive our reality from within. And to clean the filters, to clean our perception, to clean our emotional, mental, even physical. And the breath does that. The breath is so fundamental to the clearing process. and aligning. Now, I want you to place your focus and attention right in the center of your chest, right in that big, beautiful, wide open heart center of yours, as my mentor Mel Brand used to say to me. And in that big, beautiful, wide open heart center, I want you to place a flower, any flower of your choosing. Any flower will do. And you will place it there in a budding position, right about to blossom. And all of a sudden, the flower begins to blossom. Petal by petal, one by one, gently revealing its magnificent beauty, its divine design, its colors, and its fragrance, if it has any. And from the core of the flower emanating source creative energy, divine light, shimmering, warm, and bright. It begins to grow and expand throughout the flower, past the flower, throughout your chest, throughout your torso, past your shoulders, elbows, wrists, and hands, past your hips, knees, ankles, feet, past your toes, past your head, until you're completely enveloped by Source creative energy. You are sitting inside a bubble of light. And this light is so strong and so powerful that it burns away any and all attachments to people, places, things, and events that no longer serve you in your divine blueprint. Any jealousy, envy, malicious intent, ill will, all burned off by the divine light. Inside this bubble of light, you are completely safe, completely protected. So we will leave your avatar behind here as a staircase appears from the core of the flower, leading up to a door. And I will guide you up the stairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You are becoming lighter and lighter. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. In front of you, there's a door opening inwards. And as you push the door open, you step into a great hall of light. Endless hall full of endless doors, an infinite amount of doors. Each door leads to different moments, events, and memories throughout your life, different timelines, different realities, different worlds and realms. You step into the hall and start walking. Each door showing a living picture of a moment in time and space. And as you keep walking past doors, you notice a shape coming towards you at the end of the hall. This shape stepping out of the light. As it comes closer, you notice that it is a familiar shape, a familiar energy. As it comes closer, you recognize the shape, the energy, the face. As it comes even closer, you come to know that it is, in fact, your own higher self, your highest version of self in all timelines, realms, worlds, realities, what have you. It is the version of yourself with access to all timelines, realities, realms, worlds, and so on, dimensions, what have you. And as it comes even closer, you're standing face to face. It reaches out its arms, giving you its hands and signaling for you to hold hands with your own higher self. You reach out your hands and you hold hands. And you instantaneously begin to merge and meld into one another. Becoming one and the very same. merging at each chakra, from the crown to the third eye, the dream chakra in the back of the head, the well of dreams, the throat chakra, the higher heart, or the dimensional chakra, as we call it in Meridian Energetics, the heart chakra, the manifestation chakra, right below the heart, the solar plexus, the Hara chakra, the sacral, the root, and as the merge completes, you feel it all the way out in your fingertips and all the way out in your toes, fully embodying the higher self. I invite you to take a deep breath in here and notice how it feels. Wiggle your fingers a little bit. Wiggle your toes. Wiggle your ears and your forehead maybe a little. Move your shoulders and arms and feel how it feels a little bit as you're seated or laying down. Stay with it and truly feel how it feels to embody the highest version of self available to you on all timelines, in all dimensions and realities, worlds and realms. The highest version of yourself with access to all realities that you are made manifest, where you have created and dreamed into being an avatar. Wow. Sit with that feeling for a moment. Your multidimensional self. Here you have access to all talents, gifts, and traits that are available to you in the infinities of now. All that is and all that ever will be is available to you from this consciousness. I'm going to leave you here for a moment to feel and be here in the Hall of Lights, in the Hall of Doors, with your higher self. And I will be back with you shortly to guide you back down. If you should drift off in thought, gently, gently bring your focus and attention back to the task at hand. Now, wherever you are, gently bring your focus and attention back to the Hall of Lights, the Hall of Doors, embodying your multidimensional consciousness, embodying your higher self. Now, make your way back through the hall, back to the door. And as you come to the door, I will count you back down. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You're coming more and more into your body. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You step off the staircase and lean back into the flower, back into your body. Gently let go of the flower in the center of your chest and bring your focus and attention back up into your head. I invite you to take a deep breath in here. and notice how it feels. And when you're ready, come to join me. So that concludes the higher self meditation, a slight variation for uh, all intents and purposes. But a treasure, an absolute treasure to me on my spiritual journey, an absolute treasure to have had in my spiritual toolbox for myself, for the work, for my clients, and what has been the inspiration for all of these videos for the past decade since beginning the work with Mel Brand and Nicole Hibbs of Meridian Energetics. Um, it changed everything for me to align with the higher self, to work from the higher self, and um, just to connect with the higher self before working with a client, before making a transmission from the higher self, instead of um, having rehearsed information, to just, step on camera after meditation or after aligning with the higher self together with you all here on camera. It really didn't matter as long as I did it. And if I did it, the information coming through um, often blew my own mind. And it would always be a continuous stream of information, always be my experience through the lens of bird's eye view, higher perspective. And I'm very grateful to be able to connect to my soul stream, you know. I think that is something that is lacking in not only the spiritual community, but in the world at large. People are genuinely seeking spirit in alcohol and weed and medication and whatnot, religious experiences, um, adrenaline seeking, adrenaline experiences, near death stuff, that kind of deal. All of that is seeking spirit. You come toe to toe with life and death in a way that reminds you that there's something more to this than this body I hold. Um, Doing energy work, especially from the higher self, just stepping out of the egoic and working completely from the intuitive, um, is so transformational for you and your clients. And just tuning out and letting what is be and feeling and embodying that embodying the client, because the ego is stepping out of the body, and in comes, a higher consciousness, and scanning the clients when they're on the table, you know, just just tuning out and allowing whatever is being felt to come through. And it's usually always, 9 times out of 10 spot on. Sometimes it is mirrored. um, why, it's not always easy to tell. Sometimes it's mirrored. It's in the other side of the body than what you're picking up on. um, Interestingly enough, but 9 times out of 10 it is always spot on. And um, I find writing from your higher self consciousness, when I write my articles, I tune in with the higher self, and I work from that space, in such a degree that sometimes, I've been accused of AI long before AI, chat GPT, none of any of that even existed, because it can sometimes become a little bit mechanical, or like that when you're writing from your higher self. It can be very, very um, almost like a scientific report, um, like a research paper almost, and sometimes it's words and phrases coming through that would not necessarily come through you in your day-to-day life, but it's pure and it's real. The only thing we have to look out for when we're doing transmissions from the higher self is watch out for the filters that are there from our human experience, um, and to be sure to clean those filters, examine and put those filters to the acid test when we are channeling and transmitting information, because otherwise our information will be saturated and, dare I say, tainted by those filters of perception of reality, be it any and all belief systems pertaining to the human experience, if you catch my drift. So it's very important to understand that a belief system changes your perception of reality. A belief system, you will see what you believe. Doesn't mean that, it's always going to be real, and what is real. I find that the more I challenge my belief systems and I put them to the acid test, the less I seem to believe in, apart from myself, the higher self, and my analytical um, view and take on my experience, on my own personal experience of reality, which I find very, very interesting. Um, so the farther I come on this path, the less I believe in things pertaining to the new age, religious, spiritual, and so on and so forth. I try not to, you know, rest my experience in the previous comprehension of the spiritual experience. Meaning, I challenge whatever um, previous established comprehension um, that has been the collective consensus for the past, you know, decade, century, millennia, and so on. We are evolving and we should be evolving. And if you believe in all the same things as all the rest of the New Age community, you're not doing your work. I dare say you're not doing the work of examining your belief systems, of clearing out the cobwebs of yesteryear when it comes to those that came before you. So I strongly urge you to, whatever belief system it is that you hold, to challenge it. Challenge. Could I be wrong? Could the entire New Age community be wrong about some kind of belief, some kind of determined reality, or determined uh, comprehension of a certain topic, a certain experience? Could there have been prophets with tainted filters? Could there have been experiential information uh, derived from tainted filters, from distorted filters, from skewed perception, skewed spiritual perception? Now, these are all things that we should ask ourselves on this path in order to get to the core of our own experience, in order to get to the truth of who we are, not only as spiritual seekers, but as evolving humans. What is the firmament? How far past the firmament can we go in order to reach cosmic consciousness? And do we truly have cosmic consciousness, or are we imagining ourselves to have it due to the very fact that we're holding a lot of planetary beliefs and planetary perception? Can planetary perception and belief systems coexist with cosmic consciousness? I think not. I strongly urge people to examine their planetary consciousness and let go of as much as stuff from inside of the firmament in order to get beyond and past the firmament of human consciousness. It's like a bubble. And once you pop it, none of all that planetary human stuff really matters anymore. And if it does, you're not holding cosmic consciousness. If your belief system is so important to you that you're willing to fight, um, or willing to go to war, or willing to kill, all of these things, even if you're willing to fight with somebody in an internet forum about some kind of belief you hold from within the firmament, you don't have cosmic consciousness. It shouldn't matter to you. It should be nothing. There should be nothing to defend, because it's all bullshit. It's all absolute hogwash. All of it doesn't matter. If you're of cosmic consciousness, you're going to be like, oh, okay, well, that's your opinion. That's your experience. I honor it. I know you're wrong, but I don't care. I do not care. But if you hold such a strong charge, that you're willing to fight, willing to go to war, put your belief to the acid test, and you might come to find you were wrong all along. It's not truth, and it does not matter. And there's I hear in the spiritual community, all the absolute truth, and then they all come together in a congregation to preach in an echo chamber of their own belief systems. Oh, it's absolute truth. It's the one truth. No such thing. No such thing. You know, cosmic consciousness, nothing. There's nothing there anymore. There's none of that stuff. There's none of this stuff. There's none of that stuff. There's no sacred books in cosmic consciousness. It's, sure, beautiful alchemical texts that have become a religion all of their own, all of them, but nothing, nothing worth dying for, nothing worth fighting for. There's nothing absolute. Pop that bubble. Pop that bubble. All those belief systems fizzling around the room like pop balloons until they're all, useless rubber on the floor. That's all it is. So, cosmic consciousness means nothing matters. Not a thing. Nothing is worth fighting for. Nothing to get hung about. As John Lennon said, strawberry fields forever and ever and ever and ever. Doesn't matter. I hope this video was of use to you. And I hope you take the time to connect with your higher self as much as possible, to remember the truth of who you are, all your talents, gifts, and traits, everything that is within your divine blueprint be made readily available to you. And live your life from that multidimensional awareness that you cannot die, that you've always been and you always will be. And this is just a dream. And we're all dreaming together. A big cosmic dream. And when we wake up, we dream ourselves into being again and again and again and again. And we will always dream. So row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, merrily, merrily. Life is but a dream, right? Yeah. Test your beliefs. If you have a charge with your belief, you don't believe it enough yourself. If somebody's able to trigger your beliefs, it means that you have no trust or faith in your belief yourself. You do not believe it strongly enough. It's not a knowing. It's something that's worth being thrown in the acid test it. And you come to find that, oops, not even I believe it. The human experience is fun, and I hope you are enjoying it and find the humor in it all, because the universe is laughing. The universe is absolutely laughing all the time. It's the greatest joker of all. It's always finding it amusing that we believe that this is real. Thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful weekend. Have a beautiful now, wherever you are. And if you would like some help with some of your spiritual challenges, then I'll be very, very happy and honored to be part of your journey. WhiteWolfAlchemy.com. Talk to you soon.